we talked about 5 components: hardware, software, data, procedures, and people. And we said we try to push work from this side to this side. What do we call that process of pushing work from this side to this side? Steven? Yeah, we call that automation, okay? And we said that's what we try to do, but we also, one of the things I neglected to say was there are certain tasks and certain activities that lend themselves more to being pushed this way. What are some things that computers are good at and some things that we still need humans for, okay? That's what I want you to think about. What are types of activities that we still need people for, humans for, and types of activities that computers are very good at? So let's start with that. What are computers very good at? Let's give them their props right now. What are computers, what kind of activities are computers very good at? What are the characteristics of activities that computers are very good at? Jacob? Okay. So holding information, so we can say, how about this? Information intense, right? Activities. Okay, think about it. You're very smart, I'm sure, but our memories are limited, right? What we can store and recall at any given moment is limited, but information intense activity, computers are very good at, right? They can take thousands and thousands and thousands of scenarios, thousands of things to memorize, and they can retrieve those things instantaneously. Very good. What else?
Processing data.
Okay. So how are they better at processing data? You're right. They're very good at processing data. How?
They do a lot quicker.
Okay. So let's say faster. And what else about computers? So computers are generally faster. Certain things they're faster at, right? Certain things they're faster at. And what else? You guys have maybe a long day today. What happens at the end of your day?
I watch Netflix.
You watch Netflix and do what? Drink beer. Okay. But you get tired, don't you not? Do computers get tired? They do not. Okay. So faster, not exhausting. So they're very good at things that are also repetitive. Why are they good at things that are repetitive? Why are they good at things that are repetitive? Why? Okay. And why is it easy to program? I like that. You said easy to program. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. Easier to program. Things are repetitive.
You can master one thing really well. Make sure that they get all the steps.
All right. Very good. Because you can master, you can plan out something very well. If the task has a high degree of structure, doesn't that make it easier for a computer to do the same damn way every time? Think about an ATM. It does the same. It's very structured activity. Every time you put in your card, you put in your PIN, it presents you with a menu. You can flowchart that thing out. It is very defined options, right? Limited options as well. Okay, limited options. Okay, they could do it fast, not exhaustive, repetitive, and they do it the same damn way every time. They don't say, well, this time I had a brain lapse or something like that, right? I had a moment. They do it the same way every time. So what are we good at? Why do we still need us? Why do we still need us? Okay, so I like she said humans still are the ones that control computers, and she's right. Remember, we talked about people, the most important component of the information system, and a lot of times say, hey, the computer was wrong, right? The computer was wrong. Computers aren't wrong. They're not right. They do what we tell them to do, right? If the computer's wrong, it's because someone programmed it incorrectly. Computers are never right or wrong. They just present the results they are programmed to do. So what else? What else kind of tasks and activities are humans good at? Yes?
We can put emotion back in.
Okay. So things like this. Emotion, unstructured, tasks that require judgment, common sense. Things we think about of human attributes. And there's things that we can't capture programmatically. We can't capture all the environmental variables. I'll give you an example here, okay? I have a teaching assistant here with me today. Her name is Alexis. Alexis, say hello to the class, Alexis.
Sorry, I can't find the answer to the question I heard.
She's not smart, right? But watch, if I give her a structured task. Alexis, what is 30 times 48?
30 multiplied by 48 is 1,440.
Very structured, very easy. Alexis, tell me today's news.
Here's your flash briefing. In NPR News from TuneIn.
From NPR News in Washington, I'm Corva Coleman. Austria has toughened its border controls to clamp down on the trafficking
Alexa,
of refugees.
Stop. Alexa, did the Pirates win yesterday?
Yesterday, the Pirates lost to the Rockies, 5-0.
Alexa, tell me a joke.
What's brown and sticky? A stick.
Pretty bad. My twins like them, they're 7. Alexa, read me a poem.
Roses are red, violets are blue. I like to read poems, but would rather help you.
Alexa, how does my hair look today?
I wasn't able to understand the question I heard.
Alexa, what's my outfit look like today?
My though, the place in Ton Hoa, Vietnam.
Alexa, stop. So, what was she good at? She was good at things that are really well-defined, like multiplying something, right? That's a well-defined task. Anything information-intensive, she was very good at, right? Things she was bad at, she couldn't tell me how my hair looked today. Obviously, she can't see, right? If I ask her the weather, she can report that. The Pirates score, anything, and you guys mentioned information-intense. Common sense, no good at, right? No good at common sense kind of things. No good at judgment things, right? She's also good at playing music as well. Someone else. Jacob, want to talk to her? Jacob. I want someone far and back. I'll talk. Mark will talk for me. Mark will talk. Ask Alexa a question. Talk to her. Come on, any question? Ask her to play. What's your favorite artist? Ask her to play your artist, whatever your favorite artist is. Nothing wrong. Play Fetty Wap.
I couldn't find songs by Fetty Wap in your music library. Finding a station on iHeartRadio.
One time.
Alexa, stop. That's going to get ugly quick. Okay. So yeah, Fetty Wap isn't in my music library. Neil Diamond is, and several other things, but not Fetty Wap. So why did Amazon come out with this product, by the way? Why would they come out with this product? What do you think? What do you think they're really? It's a neat product. It's a nice Bluetooth speaker. It does some neat things. But they're probably not making a whole lot of money on the hardware. I got it for $100. The hardware is probably worth $100, right? It probably cost about $100 to manufacture. What do you think they're trying to do? And it can interface with your light switches. It can do tasks. What do you think they're trying to do? Yeah.
Compete with Siri.
Okay, a little bit, right? Amazon, Google, Apple, Facebook, they all try to compete with one another, right? Sometimes they're all good at something, but they often foray into each other's primary domain because they said, we're not giving that to you. We're going to compete here. You're right, a little bit. They all have, one of these like artificial intelligence kind of things. Apple has Siri. What's Microsoft? Do you guys know what Microsoft is? What's her name? I think it's a her. I don't have to use it. Cortana, have you ever heard of Cortana? No? Huh? Yeah? How about Google? What's Google?
It's like Google Now or something.
It's Google Now, yeah, very good. Why do you think, what's Amazon's main thing they want to do? What's their primary driver? What do they want to do? Sell things, right? So how can they use this to sell things?
Like Alexa, buy me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, she's always on, man. Always on. Alexa, go ahead. Oops, I'm sorry. No, you don't do that. But it's tied to my Amazon account. So that song that you just listened to, right, that you asked it to play, you could say, buy this song. And it would buy that song. It would download it to your Amazon library, right? So you can also say, Alexa, add paper towels to my grocery list. Trying to understand because I stuttered. Alexa, add paper towels to my grocery list.
I've added paper towels to your shopping list.
Okay. And paper towels, Amazon sells paper towels, right? So now they know what I'm buying. And there's some people that are a little bit upset about this product. Why do you think they're upset about this product?
And now, like, funnel your searches at Amazon. Like, if you're consistently asking certain questions, those things will pop up on your.
Okay. So think about this. And they say this is not the case. But this thing is always on. And obviously always listening, right? I mean, think about it. It's all, like you say, Alexa, you know, see, she's on, right? So she is basically kind of like, can be like a listening device. If someone hacked that, you know, and I'm not saying Amazon does this, I don't believe they do, but maybe they know that me and my wife are talking about, I don't know, redoing the kitchen or, you know, whatever it might be, and they might be able to, like you say, funnel searches that way. Now, I say they don't do anything like that, but I'm sure, you know, hackers and malicious people could hijack that thing as well. So if we look at this, it's basically hardware. What about the software of it, though? What do you think about the software of it? What about the software of it? The software is Alexa herself, right? And what she uses is the cloud. What do we mean when we say the cloud? Because it's not just programmed in there. Like, since I've had her, she's gotten smarter. She's gotten better. Because a lot of the processing is in the cloud. What do we mean by the cloud? We'll talk about that later. What do we mean by the cloud? Yes? Is it the memory? The memory, but when we say the cloud, what are we referring to? Go ahead.
Digital data storage.
And where is it? Where's the cloud? Have you guys heard of the cloud? What's the cloud? To the cloud. There was a commercial. To the cloud. I'm in an airport trapped and I want to entertain myself, so to the cloud. Where's the cloud? What is the cloud?
It's an online data storage, isn't it?
But what is it? Yeah, you're right. It's online. Where is it? What is it? Basically, people in the industry refer to anything on the internet as the cloud, right? Because you don't know where the hell it is, right? It's internet. I don't know where she's retrieving these facts from. It's somewhere on the internet, and they draw it. When they draw in diagrams, they draw it as a cloud because they say, well, we don't know where it is. It could be in, like that server we're accessing could be in Utah, could be in Africa, could be in Bangladesh. We don't know. So they just say it's in the cloud. Her smarts, her programming, her software is in the cloud. So if all that has to happen in the internet, you know what I mean? What's important is we have to be able to connect. So she's connected through our Wi-Fi network, right? She has to be able to communicate to the cloud. Procedures, there's definitely a procedure to use it. What's the procedure? Anyone can learn it. What's the procedure to access her?
Say your name.
Say your name. And then you just, it's supposed to be like a natural language kind of thing, right? So you're just supposed to ask a question. And the people were obviously, you know, like the user of that device. Okay. So let's look at the quiz then. That pretty much takes care of chapter 1. And under assessment quizzes, you'll see chapter 1 quiz. This is on Blackboard. It's due this Friday at midnight, but don't wait until this Friday at midnight. You can take it now. You can take it twice, actually, anytime, and it will keep the highest of the score. It's multiple choice. It's on chapter 1. I don't mind if you use your notes, right? I don't mind if you use your book. That's part of the learning experience, but you know, don't cheat. Okay? Don't use someone else. This is going to be done outside of class, so at your leisure, at your convenience. You know, I'm hoping you do quite well on this quiz. Okay, any questions at all on that? All right, good. Then let's move on, and we're going to move on to chapter 2. And chapter 2 is talking about using information systems for collaboration. Let me get my clicker. Okay. And as we start, the one thing we want to talk about, we want to define. Okay, this is using information systems to collaborate in the business world. And the first thing I want to start out with is, what do you think the difference is between cooperation and collaboration? Now, this isn't really a computer term, but what's the difference between cooperation and collaboration? Give me an example. Go ahead, Mr. Kirsch.
When you collaborate, you come together with ideas. When like cooperate is like when you work together.
Okay, very good. Yeah, cooperate is when you work together. Collaborate is when you come together with ideas. And what happens when you come together with ideas?
You try to build it like 2 or 3 minds is better than one. So you try to like take good benefits from each person's idea and build a like real badass idea.
Okay, very good. And it's really, the thing we can talk about is what cooperation lacks is iteration and feedback. Okay, so when you say come together, we want to build this great idea, right? This great thing. So in doing so, we want feedback from everyone. And what's iteration mean? Iteration means there's multiple drafts. So I guess cooperation would be if I say me, Marcus, JJ, and Sarah are going to paint this room. And she paints that wall, I paint this wall, JJ, that's cooperation, right? We're doing the same thing, we're working together to get the job done, right? Collaboration is, we're going to think of an idea for a new application, and I have an idea, and Marcus says, hey, that's no good, Dr. Miko, this is, or maybe add something to it. Then we go to another version, and Sarah says, yeah, we have to think about this, so we go to another version of it. That is what is the difference between collaboration and cooperation. And what we're going to talk about in this chapter is using information systems not just to share information, but to really collaborate with one another. Because I think you said it. You said, if we work together, we can build something even better, right? We can work something better. So collaboration is something we strive for in the business world. A good example of this, okay, when I give you guys a group paper or a group project, how does that typically happen? And I don't want what I think, what the professor thinks happens, because I know what happens. How does that happen? Stephen, how does that happen? If I give you a group paper.
You assign 3 people to work on one project.
Okay, and how's that happen in the student view, on the student side of things? From what my experience shows.
Usually 1 or 2 people do it and 1 person does it.
Well, yeah, there's always an anchor, right? You're not the anchor, though, Stephen, right? There's always an anchor in a group project. I hated group projects when I was a student because I was not the anchor. But there were always anchors, right? Okay, so say you have 3 people who are actively working on the paper. How does that happen?
You assign, say it's a 10-page paper, each person does like 3.5 pages.
Very good. That is what I've seen happen. So what kind of work together is that? Cooperation or collaboration? What do you think? It's cooperation, right? Because I've seen these papers, and the introduction is wonderful because that was written by Stephen, right? And the conclusion is like at a kindergarten level, you're like, holy cow, this really went down the whole quick. Because that's the way it happened, right? Because you guys cooperated. If we were going to collaborate, if you actually collaborated on, what would that look like, Stephen? How would that be different?
It would all look pretty much like one person was writing it all together because they decided to take each part together and put in their best ideas.
Okay. And how would that writing process happen? Because I know what happens now. I write the first 3 pages, this person writes the last 3 pages, you write the middle 3, and we slap them together in one document and submit it to Dr. Miko. But what should it look like?
It should look like each person is writing it as they go.
And it should look like multiple drafts, multiple iterations, improving upon, I'll review this section, you review that section, I'll add some things here. It should look like one cohesive document, and there should be feedback along the way. Like, I don't like the way you concluded here, I suggest this. Right? That is what collaboration is all about. And we're going to talk about using information systems to do more than just cooperate, more than just delegate, more than just share. And we're going to talk about collaboration. There's all kinds of things in your book about what being a good collaborator is about. I'm not going to go, I don't like that's kind of touchy-feely stuff, and I don't like that stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the purposes, the 4 purposes of collaboration in business, because this is more business stuff, and this is more information system stuff, and this is more stuff that we should be concerned with in this class. The first the purposes of collaboration, the first thing we're going to talk about is becoming informed. And this goes back to our first class. We defined what management information systems was, and we said, hey, information's right in the middle of that. That's important, right? So management information systems, the first thing they do is allow us to become informed, because if you think about it, becoming informed is like the baseline to collaborate. We have to know what the hell is going on, right? We have to understand the situation we're in, right? The more information, the better we can collaborate, right? If we're in the dark, hey, not so much. So the very first level, okay, the very first level is to become informed. Okay, that's the purpose of collaboration. Become informed. And the reason it's the first level is, if you think about it, the other three things, we have to know something. We have to be informed before we can make a decision, right? Before we can make a decision, we have to understand the situation. So this is like a hierarchy, if you will. To make a decision, we have to first understand the situation, become informed. To solve a problem, we also need to understand the problem, become informed, but we have to have the ability to make decisions to solve a problem, right? You just can't say, hey, solve this problem, but you're not allowed to do anything. Well, if you can't make decisions, how can you solve problems? And finally, the fourth one, manage projects. Think about a project, a temporary endeavor undertaken to do a certain thing. To manage a project, we need to become informed, we need to make decisions, we need to solve problems. So these kinds of things build upon themselves, all right? So let's take these one at a time, okay? And I'm not going to go into very big detail, but some detail. First off, becoming informed. How do information systems inform? And they do a great job of that. Fantastic job of that. I think one of the first things I asked today is, hey, what are computers good at? Someone said information-intense kind of tasks. So how do they inform? Give me an example of how they inform. Any kind of example. How do computers inform? Give me an example. Did a computer inform you of anything today, Eric? Did a computer or your phone inform you of anything today?
News.
Okay. The news, the weather, right? Okay. How about in the business world? What do you think computers are good at informing of in the business world? How? Yes, sir.
Stocks.
Okay, very good. So, latest news like stock prices, right? Becoming informed. You know, sometimes you can get stock prices on like Yahoo and stuff. It's free, but they say it's 15 minutes delay, right? Do you ever see that? It's 15 minutes delay. If you want real-time quotes, real-time informed, you got to pay money, right? So, becoming informed. Now, one of the things we can do in the business world, one of the primary ways. Now, we have all these, intuitive ways like phones and things like that. But one of the basic ways we inform in the business world for years and years and years, back to the Mad Men days, if you will, is reports. Okay, reports. You guys know what I mean by reports? Statements, reports. Printed documents with information in it. There's two types of reports, if you will. There are push versus pull. A push report is a report or information that is pushed to you at some periodic basis. For example, if you have a cell phone plan, every month you get your cell phone Verizon or your Sprint, your AT&T statement. That's an example of a push report, right? It gets pushed to you monthly whether you want it or not. Does that make sense? Things that get pushed to you on a periodic basis are examples of push reports or push information. It comes every morning. The weather report might be something that's pushed to you, right? Every morning when I wake up, I want to see the weather report. That's pushed to you every morning. Pull, also called ad hoc reporting, because ad hoc is Greek or Latin for to this, for a certain purpose, okay? Pull reports are when you as the business person or as a consumer go out and request information. For example, you mentioned stock price, right? If you're curious, hey, what is Apple trading at right now? That's an example of a pull report, right? If in the morning you get a portfolio report of all your stocks, that's an example of a push report. Does that make sense? So computers, as they developed, It used to be 1960s, 1970s, all the information was pushed, right? You know, if you went into the bank and said, what's my balance? You didn't have smartphones, they didn't have computers. They said, let's go over and look at the report of last night's balance, and we'll say, okay, you have $500. And they had like passbooks, you know what I'm saying? Everything was a push report. Now, we live in a society where everything is moving more so, right, to a pull report. We get information as we need it, okay, as we need it. So push versus pull. Pull is typically better, but sometimes there's need for push, right? We don't want to have to ask for it. We want it every day, or want it every minute, or want it every week, okay? All right, so let's talk about the next one, decisions. Okay, let's talk about the next one, decisions. So in the business world, there are really 3 levels of decisions. And there's a hierarchy to this as well. The first level, the lowest level, is something called operational decisions. Okay, operational decisions. What's an example of an operational decision we make in the business world? Any kind of operational decision. What do you think? Sarah?
How many products to make on the line?
Okay, so she said, how many products to make on a line? Very good. Should we make 500 of these widgets or 1,000 of these widgets? I'm the manager or the department chair of business administration. An operational decision that I make is, you know, how many sections of Econ 101 are we going to offer in the spring, right? How many sections of financial accounting are we going to offer in the fall, right? That is operational decisions. Karen at the cart makes a lot of operational decisions. How many pizzas do we need, right? You know, when to reorder the pizzas, when to reorder, you know, whatever the hell she sells there, right? All those things, those are operational decisions, yes? Okay. The next level is managerial decisions. So above operational decisions, we have managerial decisions, and they're a little bit different. Managerial decisions deal with the allocation of resources. Things like, you know, budgeting, like how much money are we going to give to this area of the department? Staffing, you know, how many people are we going to assign to this project? Okay, planning. Those are managerial decisions. I mentioned operational decisions that I make as a chair is how many sections of Econ 101? A managerial decision is what is Dr. Lowe going to teach in the fall, right? We're going to have him teach this or that. What's Miss Rummel going to teach? What's Miss Seidel going to teach? Those are managerial decisions that I make, okay? A little bit level up, right? And finally, what's the top level then? What's the top level? And you guys, your seniors have to take a class in this. Management 401, strategic decisions, strategic management. How are strategic decisions different? How are strategic decisions different? Yes.
They're a lot more broad and include everybody and everything.
Okay. You even went to the next one. You said broad, you're right. And you said include everybody and everything. Okay, that's important, right? That's important. That's going to be our next point. Strategics are very much a broad organizational item. Should we offer, like as department chair, should we offer a sports management major? That's like a strategic decision, right? Should we invest in Schwab Hall as the new school of business? That was a strategic decision, right? Should we merge with Mount Aloysius? That's a strategic decision, right? Very broad. You probably got that in Management 101 at some point. Those 3 things. Operational, managerial, and strategic decisions. We all make them in the business world. We all need to understand them. Well, if we think about them, remember I said becoming informed is a precursor to make decisions. So if we think about those 3 types of decisions, okay, which one requires the most information or the most collaboration? And which one requires the least amount of collaboration? What do you think? Sarah kind of gave us the answer to that. Of those levels, what requires the least amount of collaboration? What requires the most amount of collaboration?
Organization requires the least.
Operational.
I'm sorry.
And what requires the most? Strategic. Very good. If we look at that, okay, very much that is the case. Okay, very much that is the case. when I said we're going to have 4 sections of Econ 101 in fall 2015, I consulted no one. Okay? No. I didn't collaborate with a damn soul. I looked in and said, we had about 100 students in fall 2014. 4 sections of Econ 101, right? That's it. When Karen says, hey, we need 3 pizzas today, she doesn't talk to anyone else. She says, hey, we went through 3 pizzas last Monday, we'll say 3 pizzas this Monday, right? Operational decisions, pretty easy to make, right? Doesn't require a lot of collaboration. Now, on the other end, strategic decisions, think about strategic decision that an organization might make. Hey, we want to take Schwab Hall and make it the new school of business. Well, geez, I can't tell you how many areas of the organization were involved in that. Advancement was involved, marketing was involved, the physical plant guys were involved because they had to make sure that was right? We had to have, everyone in the department had to buy off on it. We had to put a design. Think about that. There's a lot of collaboration that is necessary for that. Hey, we want a sports management program. Something, we have a sports management minor, but not a major. There's a lot of collaboration about that. We actually had to go to other departments. What do you think about a sports management? We went to other schools. We talked to them, right? All those things have to happen to make strategic decisions. If you're an upper-level manager at an organization, you probably spend 95 to 99% of your time as a manager just collaborating, right? Just collaborating. Just becoming informed, understanding, going through feedbacks. That's what's important. Now, what also goes along with this chart is as we go up here, operational, managerial, strategic, there is more increased need for collaboration. But what is also true, if we think about it, we started this lecture, we talked about computers versus humans, and we said what we think is, hey, humans are better at unstructured tasks, and computers are very good at structured tasks, right? So that is true as well of the managerial decisions. Operational decisions, computers are real good at, right? I probably don't even need to make that decision. I could really program it and say, how many sections of Econ 101 did we have last semester? We could download that from the system, divide that by 25, boom, that's the number of sections of Econ 101 I should offer. I didn't even have to get involved, right? Very structured, yes? As an operational decision. I can't program a computer to think about what new program should we have? What new major should we have in the School of Business? I can't program and say, what kind of facility do we need for the next 100 years, right? That's what we're not trying to get into the School of Business for another 100 years. What kind of facility will it need to look like, right? I can't program a computer to do that. So if we think about it, it's not just collaboration, okay? At the lower levels, computers are much more helpful, and actually, in fact, they take away a lot of it, right? They can take away a lot of things. When you go in for a loan, has anyone got a car loan lately? Anyone got a car loan? None of you guys got a car loan? Zero, or you just don't want to talk? No one has a car? I'll tell my 15-year-old that. I have a college class, no one has their own car. But you didn't get the loan. Did you go to the bank of mom? Is that what you went?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're that.
Has anyone?
We all got it from mom.
Bank of Dad is always closed. Bank of Mom is usually open. Has anyone been with their parents when they got a loan of any type? No? Oh, this example sucks. Okay. If you go for a car, okay, they'll approve your loan in about 5 minutes. Maybe $30,000, $40,000 loan. I don't know if you guys realize that. Like you go, you say, I'm going to buy this, blah, 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 $35,000. They say, well, let me give you your social security number, give you a boom, boom, and they say, oh, you're approved. How does that happen? You know what it used to be 20, 30 years ago? You would meet with a bank officer, he'd say, oh yeah, I know John Miko, I know your parents, I know what you do for a living, how long you've been there, all that stuff. You'd have to go through all that, right? And it'd be like a 5 to 7 day decision, I kid you not. But now it's like boom, 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 5 minutes, boom, you're approved. You know what I'm talking about? How?
It's all credit scores and savings to the system.
And credit score is all based on what?
Pay your bills.
Okay, so we have all this information. John Miko's never missed a payment. He's had this line of credit. He's had this car loan. He's not defaulted on anything, right? I have a credit score, and all the computer does is says, okay, John Miko, his credit score is over 700. Approve the loan or don't approve it, right? So the guy there doesn't know me from Adam, doesn't know if I'm a deadbeat or I'm the greatest guy in the world, but he's telling me, hey, I approve your loan. He didn't make that decision. If you think about it, the computer made that decision. Those used to be managerial decisions. Now they're operational decisions. Let me give you an example of structured versus unstructured. When I was like, I don't know, 12 years old, and this is before maybe there weren't very good animal protection standards. But in the mall that I went to, maybe I was 10 years old, there was a vending machine, okay? And there was a live chicken in it, okay? It's this vending machine, where did it? Okay, and in the vending machine there was like a board, a tic-tac-toe board, and you could put in 25 cents, and you could play the chicken tic-tac-toe, right? I could play, swear to God. It was a vending machine with a live, I swear to God, live chicken inside, and there was a little board. It was like, you could push the buttons, and then the chicken would peck, and he would make his selection, and you'd make your selection, the chicken would peck. You could see the chicken pecking. He'd make his selection. And I remember losing to a chicken, right? I remember, I paid 25 cents to see that a chicken is smarter than me. I think I played that chicken 3 times. I lost the first time, and I was pretty happy I tied it the second time. I walked away like, all right, well, I'm okay. How did I lose to that chicken? Well, I was curious as a 10-year-old, right? I like gadgetry. I like this vending machine. I didn't like chickens, but I snuck it around the back, right, of this machine, and you could see through a crack. But basically, what was happening is there was a little light coming on, and the chicken was trained. You couldn't see it from the front, but from the back you could see it. And the chicken was trained, to see the light. It pecked the light. I don't know how you train a chicken, but it did that, and it got a little pellet of food, right? So it was trained to do that. So think about how dumb a chicken is, right? But it beat me. Even as a 10-year-old, I was fairly smart, right? But it could beat me. Why? Why could that beat me? Because it wasn't the chicken beating me. It was the information system the chicken was trained to use, right? It wasn't even people in that case, it was a chicken. And that's what beat me. So think about it. If we can program that kind of logic, that kind of decision, we can make things better. Now, the big thing there was tic-tac-toe, is it structured or unstructured? Just tic-tac-toe, structured or unstructured? Very structured, right? Now, chicken couldn't beat me at unstructured tasks, but it could beat me at structured tasks because it was relying upon an information system. So, okay, let's end that right now. Okay, I'm going to do a little structure game with you guys. So take out a piece of paper. We'll do that now. Because structure is really important, okay? In this information system thing, it's really important. And you're not going to turn this in, so I don't care how it looks, but let's do this exercise. I want you to think of a number from 1 to 10. Any number. So select whatever you'd like, Mark. Write down, yeah. Multiply that number by 9. If you need help, ask Alexa. Alexa, what's 7 plus 9? Oh, that's 7 times 9.
7 plus 9 plus 7 is equal to 23.
What you did there. All right, so when you have that number, let's say it's 23, I want you to add those 2 digits together. So, say mine's 33, so that'd be 6, right? 3 plus 3 is 6. You guys with me? Now, whatever that number is, subtract 5. All right, you guys with me? So you have a number, right? Went through some steps. All right, now I put a little, I don't know what you call this. I don't know, looking for the word. It's a little key up here. But I want you to find your number up here, right? So 1 through 26, and then the letter that corresponds to your number. So if your letter was, or your number was 6, it's F. If it was 1, it's A, 2, B. You know what I'm saying? What do you call that? Huh? Key? That's a word, though. I think of Rosetta Stone, but that's not right. All right, you good? What's your letter?
My original one?
No.
Oh.
So
So my new number.
6 minus 5, I would have 1. One's A, right?
Oh. Okay.
All right, girl. Okay. All right, you guys good? All right. Now, whatever your letter is, so let's say mine's F. I want you to think of a country that starts with that letter. Think of a country that starts with that letter. So mine would be, like, F would be maybe Finland. That's what I'm saying? Any country that you know. All right? Now I want you to take that country and take the last letter of that country, like D in Finland, and think of a letter, think of an animal that starts with that letter. So my case might be, I don't know, D, let's go, I don't know, dog. So you now have a country and an animal. 4 is not D, it's D.
But no, you said subtract.
9 minus 5 is 4.
Oh, I thought you meant you. Never mind. Oh wow. Okay. Never mind.
All right. Now take the last letter of that animal and think of a fruit that starts with that letter. So if it's G, fruit that starts with G. There isn't one? Sure there is.
Great.
Oh, great. Very good. Yeah, great.
Want to help me with T?
Huh? Well, I don't want to help you.
I don't know the animal that's going with the Y.
Oh, man. Oh, you guys are killing me. I think you guys have some problems. Let's do this again. I think some of you guys screwed up. Think of a number to 110. All right, let's check your work. Check your work for me. Maybe I gave bad instructions. Multiply that number by 9. Add those 2 digits. Subtract by 5. Okay.
This is the number that we use for up there.
Use that number to look this up. Okay? That's your letter. Then think of a country that starts with that letter. Take the last letter of that country. Think of an animal that starts with that. And take the last letter of that animal and think of a fruit that starts with that. All right. Structure or unstructured, Pat?
Very structured.
What did you say?
Very structured.
I can't hear. Very or no?
It was very structured.
Why did you say very structured?
Because if you do it right, everybody should have roughly the same.
What do you mean roughly the same thing? How many countries in the world? How many animals in the world? How many fruits in the world?
I guess there's a lot, but I've done this before, and typically most people have the same thing.
Oh, I'm such a statistic, aren't I?
Structured or unstructured? What's your mind?
Unstructured.
Okay, why? You're playing along with me.
Yeah.
Now think about, when we talk about structures, okay, a couple of things that went into this. Well, first, I guess we'll do the great reveal. Nancy, okay, I want you to reach under your desk. Watch out for the gum. Reach under your desk. Under your desk.
Okay.
And there's an envelope. Well, I swear to you.
Oh my god.
It's a magic trick.
All I did at this point was tape an envelope under your desk.
Do you want me to take it
Yeah,
out?
I want you to take the envelope out. Yeah.
Okay.
All right, now open that envelope.
Wait a second.
And read what you have in there. Okay. A good face, too. That was good. That was good. A little surprise. That was good. So read it.
The whole thing?
Yeah.
Are you thinking of kangaroo in Denmark eating an orange?
All right, so how many people had those 3 things? All right. So it seemed unstructured, right? It did, but a couple things are at play there. And Aaron did this before, so he knew. But if you did the math right, and I know some of you did, you should come out with a 4, all right? Because it's an algorithm. It always comes out to a 4. So that means that seemed like structure, but it wasn't. It always comes to a 4. Then, so that means D, and there's only 3 countries that start with D. You guys know what they are? There's 4, I think, actually. Dominican Republic. Go ahead. Denmark. Djibouti, yeah. That's the greatest name for a country, right? Djibouti. And Dominica. Those 4 countries. But because we are trained with European history more than anything else, Americans think of what country first? Denmark, okay? And then Denmark ends with a K, right? And since we're a little kid, when you learn the alphabet, A is apple, K is usually kite, or kangaroo, right? So that's ingrained in your mind for kangaroo. You could have picked koala, maybe some of you picked koala. And then, kangaroo ends in O, and you're like, oh, they're orange, right? So really, although it seems very unstructured, okay, because there's limited choices, it's actually fairly structured, right? And that's kind of how like an ATM transaction is, right? You come and say, well, I want to replace what I used to do with the teller with this machine. That's called a self-service work system. And you say to yourself, well, that's impossible to do. That's a person, and you're talking to a machine. But you say, well, maybe 90% of the transactions are, hey, I'd like to transfer money. I'd like to deposit. I'd like to check my balance, right? And you say, all right, those are the 3 options. So the number of options also can impact the degree of structure. Now, we will start on Wednesday to talk about solving problems and managing projects. Okay? Have a great day, and I will see you on Wednesday.